Well, hello everyone, welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 My Team Career episode number 14 today for the United States Grand Prix of our first season on this game. Yes, if you missed any of the previous episodes, then please do go to check it out and make sure you subscribe as well to see plenty more F1 2020 game videos every week on the channel. We're currently on 254 subscribers. I think we're going to try and aim maybe for 270 by the end of the year, although this really is just bonus after hitting our target of 250. But yes, we must keep the momentum going to lessen the load on next year's target effectively, because of course that is unknown. But yes, we are going to have one final major upgrade by the looks of it on the Sashi side, a major weight reduction upgrade. That's going to help us big time and probably jump us, looks like it will jump us ahead of McLaren, maybe just level with them. Definitely ahead of the bottom pack, so that's going to push us clear. We do now have the second fastest engine because that major engine upgrade has come through on the engine side, so that is definitely good news there. And of course we're just literally saving money as well, in case they don't change the mechanics of the game for next year's. But we had an invitational event, it was around Russia, and the first three cars are easy to get past, and then the second two somehow managed to go around in lap time that is really only been set by a modern day F1 car, not compared to the downwards on the V8, so I failed to do that. A bit of a waste of my time doing that one, to be honest, because we didn't get any money, but we still get enough anyway from the sponsors to give us almost $6 million in costs, which of course we will be spending after the end of the season as we get ready for the United States Grand Prix at Austin, a circuit where we've done well on this year's game as well, because we won in season 2.
Skipping a lot of practice sessions lately. Keep in mind that practice is useful to get used to the track, improve your car setups, and also helps us gather data for car development. Make sure you don't jeopardize your results by taking these sessions too lightly.
Oh, shut up, Carl. Nobody asked for your opinion, especially not me. I don't care about practice sessions, to be honest. We're doing it in 1 and 2. We don't really use practice session 3 to save the wear on the gearbox. But anyway, ignoring Carl, this is good news because the likes of Alfa Romeo and Haas, our engine has moved the closest to Alpha Tauri. Renault and McLaren stay ahead of Ferrari, so that's really, like I said in the previous episode, that is pretty much the order of where it is in real life as well.
So what have you got against practice sessions? Even if you're confident in your setup, these sessions...
He just doesn't shut up, does he? He's worse than Jeff. He's getting worse than Jeff, Carl. I must admit that. But yes, moving to qualifying then. Let's be honest. What did I forget to do between practice and qualifying? That's right. Select a power unit that isn't old. So we're going to be starting from the back with a 15,000 place grid penalty, and we're going to. But at least we've got this fresh unit, which we haven't actually used the entire season. It's last place, and Russell, of course, uses this race to get out of P12.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. How will not making Q3 affect your strategy?
It's not a good day. We qualified last, Claire. We didn't even make it into Q2, never mind Q3, so I don't know what you're on about.
Are you happy with your performance today?
We didn't bother. Oh, I'm not bothering with that. It's time for the race for today's United States Grand Prix.
Thank you for your time.
Welcome once again then to the United States Grand Prix here in the magnificent city of Austin. It was here in 2018 that Kimi Raikkonen delighted the world by winning for the first time in 114 races. There's always a record to be broken, so what I wonder is in store for us today. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas, overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Mercedes. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, and Vettel, Perez, Stroll, Verstappen, and George Russell. Albon, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Magnussen, Kimi Raikkonen, and Giovinazzi, De Vries, Ocon, Nicholas Latifi, and Lando Norris. Gasly, Grosjean, Kvyat, and the owner-driver rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So quite a few other people have got penalties. We are going to be changing this strategy up. The default is a 2-stop, but we're going to try 1-stop now. I believe the default for the top 10 runners is actually, and those with better tyre wear upgrades, is some soft to hards. We're going to go mediums to softs because we got those tyre upgrades and we've done the tyre simulations. If fire lights come on, nobody else on the medium tyre. Fire lights out and away we go for the United States Grand Prix, and it's a mediocre start compared to the likes of Grosjean, Kvyat. They go to the inside. We're going to go into the pit lane and dive it right down the inside, making about 5 or 6 positions up there, as you can do with a hairpin at turn 1. We try and take the Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi. That doesn't do it, and it moves up into P15, up 7 positions off the start, which is not bad. Although Russell is in the top 10 for the first time, only our second Q3 appearance of the season, as we're now easily, comfortably ahead of Giovinazzi and Magnussen down into the hairpin at the end of the long straight. So that's going to move us up into P13 as we're watching the tail for the P3. I mean, Mercedes have won every race in this season. They're clearly going to continue to do that with 3 races left. But yes, we jump to lap 4 now. Magnussen has also cleared Giovinazzi. The Haas engine is a little bit faster than the Alfa Romeo in the career mode, but compared to us, they have absolutely nothing. We're catching up to Raikkonen, who's having a look. This is on board with the rear, very weird angle there of George Russell, who's losing out now to both Red Bulls at the same time. First Verstappen, and then of course the junior driver Albon in the team. So we need to get a move on, because the Red Bulls occupy 9th and 10th. Not had a great start. I suspect the Honda power unit is just as fast as our one in real life. So we need to get past Raikkonen as soon as possible. ERS isn't there for us. We've only got about 32%. We're going to deploy it all down to 1%, and we're going to dive it down the inside. Luckily not to lock up and move up into P12. So 11th and 12th. This is probably our best result so far since the Monaco Grand Prix, where we had 10th and 11th. So yes, looking at now at Lando Norris, he's got Carlos Sainz all over him in that big train that's ahead at the back end of the points from 3rd. But we jumped to lap 15. We've moved up into 3rd, of course. That train is now ahead. Judging Ricciardo has come in and he's on a 2-stop. So it looks like Sainz is going to get the podium. He's now ahead of Leclerc. He's jumped them in the pit stop with Leclerc behind him. And I believe Vettel's in there as well. Somehow Verstappen has managed to jump Vettel as well. And Albon's now gone backwards as Ricciardo now. He's on those fresh soft tyres. sort of. I wasn't. I don't want to hold. Didn't want to hold him up here, but he wasn't really convincingly getting in front of him. And if I was to let him go, I was just going to lose time. So, as we have this awful pit stop entry here, that you just literally, if you're an assist player, you just judge her in because the assists have not been programmed properly. So Ricciardo's in now for his second stop. Russell's going to continue on. A couple of guys outside the top 10 like Gasly and Russell, and I think also Ocon are doing a 2-stop as well with Ricciardo. Although we are going to come out just ahead of Ocon. We're going to come out ahead of Magnussen, which is pretty much where we were. We lost. I think we've probably lost a little bit of time to Magnussen, but now we can gap him. As we look at Ricciardo now, he's ahead of Magnussen. In the meet, he's now made his final stop onto a set of mediums. We'll see if he can get his DRS arrangements as well. Well, they're saying that there's yellow flags, and Ricciardo is out of the race. Virtual safety car has been deployed, as usual, for the 187th time in this career mode. So our teammates is in the pits. I think Gasly's going to continue on. Ocon looks like he's going to continue on as well. Go in the pits rather. Gasly really has continued on, even though he's doing the 2-stops. So hopefully our team give Russell one of those spectacular 1.9 second stops, and he can get out behind us, because that would be good for us. I think Magnussen and Norris have gone through, but that he's obviously gained time on them. Obviously he has lost a bit of time compared to the Magnussen and Norris on a 2-stop, but Norris goes sailing past Magnussen on the Haas. I'm not sure what happened to Norris. He should have been higher up, and Russell's going to squeeze out Magnussen as well. Just trying their best, really, the Haas now for Romeo on the 1-stoppers. We've jumped to lap 26 now. It's been a little bit quiet in the race. We haven't been able to make the most of these soft tyres. Until now, where we got past Lance Stroll, who I believe had a little bit of an engine problem, so we're just going to waltz away. We waltzed away from Norris as well. You can see there that maybe if we had 5-10 more laps or so, we would have caught up to the back of the Sainz, Leclerc, and that train up ahead. But it is points once again. 9th place though. I think if we had had if we could have been able to have done this properly and qualified well, as opposed to at the back, then I think we could have been on potentially for higher up, maybe even for a podium. But we'll have to settle for P9 nevertheless. We've still got Brazil as well, which is a good track for me. Russell only 12th in the end. He couldn't get past Norris, who also had a good. So he also had engine penalties, but couldn't catch Stroll in the end. I needed a few more laps there. And Ricciardo, I'm not entirely sure where he would have featured up. I'm sure he would have got ahead of us, but whether he had been able to catch the likes of Perez and that train ahead on his medium tyres, I don't know. In terms of the constructors, though, we've actually moved some points ahead of Norris and Stroll because we outscored them, so we're remaining P10, P7 in the championship now. I'm confident we can stay in P7 now between now and the end of the season. 9 points, although we're only battling AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri are not in a position to catch us.
Let's have your thoughts. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Well, we had so much grip on those soft tyres at the end compared to everybody else.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Yes, we're very happy to be getting points, but I would love to see the progression in Season 2 to getting podiums.
Appreciate your time.
I think that's going to be the aim for Season 2, is to get podiums and then obviously challenge for race wins. And our acclaim, of course, is going up. George is up to level 11. We're up to level 13 on Team Acclaim, which is where we're going to leave today's episode, actually. Because obviously Hamilton is now 44 points. Mercedes have already won the Constructors' Championship. They've actually been dominating this series. It's been very dull. Imagine if this was like in real life compared to some of the races we've been treated to, although to be fair only Gasly and Verstappen won one race each apart from the Mercedes. So yes, and obviously in terms of the R&D, by the way, the aero drag upgrade failed, so we're going to repurchase that and try and get that in for episode. And I don't think we're going to have enough resource points to purchase his weight reduction before Brazil, so that's going to be annoying. We'll leave the engine power there. Second fastest engine on the grid, only Mercedes are faster than us now. So yes, but if you have enjoyed, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see more episodes of the F1 2020 My Team Career Mode as and when they come out. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.